There is a ferocious debate underway about the exit of a Titan who has stood at the top of sports for 45 years. The pressure mounting even at this hour against Penn State football coach Joe Paterno. He said today he will retire because of the allegations that one of his top coaches sexually abused 8 young boys. But tonight, everyone is taking sides on what he asked in return to coach 4 more games. So what is owed the alleged victims and what is owed the man who for 45 years stood for all that was good in college football? And this is the image he'd like us to remember. Paterno at the height of his glory on the shoulders of a triumphant team. ABC's Dan Harris begins with the developments at this hour. Dan.
Hi, Diane. Good evening. Joe Paterno clearly wants to retire on his own terms. What is unclear is whether the members of the Board of Trustees who are meeting tonight will accept those terms.
Right now, the Nittany Lions of Penn State, led by their coach, Joe Paterno.
Tonight, Joe Paterno, once the Colossus astride Penn State, is angling for just a few more games, one last shot at glory. In his statement, Paterno said he was devastated over the alleged child sex crimes of one of his former coaches, Jerry Sandusky, and that he wanted to finish out the season with dignity and determination. Then this coaching great met with his players and broke down in tears.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotional people right now. We felt like maybe Coach didn't get what he deserved. So.
But some say all of this is just fancy footwork on the part of the 84-year-old coach, saying he would have retired at the end of this season anyway. Members of the Board of Trustees were not consulted, and they could simply fire him now. In fact, ABC News has learned tonight they are likely to force out the longtime president of Penn State, Graham Spanier. Paterno's role in this scandal revolves around his actions in 2002 after a junior staffer told Paterno he saw Jerry Sandusky allegedly abusing a boy in the team showers. Paterno alerted a pair of university officials, but those officials never told police, and neither did Paterno. Today, he admitted with the benefit of hindsight, "I wish I had done more." But some are calling this arrogance dressed up as humility, pointing to Paterno's performance at a rally in support of him outside of his house overnight. What did you think of Joe Paterno's behavior by leading the cheers?
I saw him smiling, and I just got sick to my stomach.
Jennifer Storm, who advocates for child sex abuse victims, says Penn State should instead be lionizing people like the 15-year-old boy who got the investigation started when he came forward to say Sandusky had abused him for 4 years. By stepping forward, you're saying this 15-year-old prevented other victims?
Absolutely. Sexual violence is shrouded in secrecy and silence. That 15-year-old broke the silence for Sandusky.
And Diane, late news tonight, the U.S. Department of Education, the federal government announcing it will investigate how Penn State handled these sex abuse cases. Back to you.
All right, Dan, and as we said, a 45-year career, but 4 more games he wants. So what is right? Time now to bring in our sister network, ESPN's Jeremy Schaap. So, Jeremy, what's the answer? What's right? What should be done?
Well, let me put it this way, Diane. If Joe Paterno truly has the best interests of the university, of the student body, and of his team at heart, he won't coach for the next 2 months. He can only be a terrible distraction for his team with this controversy swirling around him.
Yeah, but let me be devil's advocate here. 84 years old, this storied career. It's not going to change the lives of the alleged victims. 4 more games?
But when you have an opportunity to make a statement, which is what the university leadership has now, and it has been morally bereft on this issue up to this point, it really does have to put its priorities in place and say, this is behavior that cannot be tolerated, and he does not get to dictate the terms of his departure from Penn State.
You know, people who went online at ESPN had a different view today.
Yes. The poll conducted on ESPN suggested that 61% of the people out there who voted in this poll think he should be allowed that opportunity. This was not a scientific poll, and if you were to ask people who are not sports fans, you might get a very different result.
Okay, Jeremy, great to have you here, and we want everyone to tell us what you think here at abcnews.com and also our sister network ESPN, which will have continuing coverage of this story and all the latest developments throughout the night.